Hey guys, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, NFL Week number 4 preview. I know we're getting this out as there's a game going on right now between the Minnesota Vikings and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it looks like Pittsburgh is gone up to an early lead here over in Dublin, Ireland. But with that, we're going to break down the slate of Sunday games, talk to you about the Bills, who are huge favorites over the New Orleans Saints, and look at the matchups that are coming today. We got some juicy ones, especially in the 4 o'clock window. So with that, I am Mike with the 716 Sports Entertainment, joined by Mr. Sean O'Neill. And Sean, let's get right into it. Let's talk about those Minnesota Vikings and those Pittsburgh Steelers who are playing right now in London. It is halftime, and the score is 14-6. Uh,
I honestly forgot there was a game this morning, to be honest with you. Um, at this rate, I mean, Pittsburgh's still running on, not by Pittsburgh, Minnesota's still, I believe, running on a backup quarterback.
yep,
Right?
yep.
I think Pittsburgh is going to hold on for the win in this one. I don't think Pittsburgh's still that good, but they have a adequate enough defense, and then Aaron Rodgers, if he bars any mistakes from him, should be able to beat a backup led Minnesota team.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it makes a lot of sense, and it's probably the way to go. So getting right into it, let's talk about the Bills first. Obviously, the Bills are playing the New Orleans Saints, and they are currently a 16 and a half point favorite.
So it dropped a point.
15 and a half point
Oh,
favorite.
2 points.
So, that's such a big line. Like, you got to imagine people were betting that one down a little bit because you're asking a team to cover 3 scores. Like, you got to imagine that, like, most people were betting the Saints there because the Bills don't typically do that, right? Like, Josh Allen sits a lot in the fourth quarter, especially if the Bills go up by 2 scores. So you got to imagine we're going to see Trubisky at some point in time in this game if the Bills go up big.
Yeah, I mean, look at how bad New Orleans has looked. Like, I don't necessarily see them scoring more than a touchdown, but you
Mm.
make a really good point. Unlike several other teams in the league, the Bills actually, and it's something for once that I can't hate on McDermott for, they take their important players out once they have a cushion. And that cushion's usually 2 scores. So
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I think that, like, realistically, this game may get out of hand by the third quarter. The Saints are not a good team,
what
and there's not really
what's
much
the
to say
over
on it.
under?
I hope that the Bills get out of here injury free. The line is 48 even. That seems like an awful lot considering the Saints can't score. Like, I just don't think the Saints are going to put up more than like 14 points. And that you're asking the Bills to say, I mean, I guess if you're asking the Bills to score like 35 points, which they probably could do, but the Bills don't typically do that. I mean,
No, I mean,
they did against Baltimore, but they only put up, 30 and 31 against Miami and the Jets, and they only do kind of what they have to do to win. So
yeah.
I guess the Bills don't typically just, need to overcompensate and blow teams off the field.
I think the Bills are going to win. I would honestly take the Saints with the points and the under in this one.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the Bills will win by probably 14 to 17, somewhere in that margin.
Unless the Bills come out and score on every single drive, which I mean, I guess is also feasible. But
Saints are missing half of their secondary. Spencer Rattler, McDermott against a rookie quarterback. McDermott is like what 102 against
yeah,
rookie quarterbacks. I mean, so I'm really not worried about this game at all. And we'll break it all down, when we have Reese back here, tomorrow and we break down the Sunday slate. But yeah, I'm feeling really good about this game. I'm not trying to like look past another team, but the most important thing we can get out of this game is just to make sure that nobody gets injured.
exactly.
So let's get into the Sunday slate, though. For starters, got a real barn burner in Atlanta. The Atlanta Falcons, who got embarrassed last week by the Carolina Panthers, 30-0, are taking on the Jaden Daniel less Washington Commanders. Atlanta's favored by 2.5, and the line is 43.5. I don't even want to like look at this game. I don't want to think about this game. It's like if
Who's
you
Washington's backup?
Marcus Mariota.
And they really think that they can't beat Atlanta?
I
Huh.
guess it's Atlanta's at home. I don't know. I think that this game is going to be
I think it's a
lost.
pick 'em.
Yeah, I mean, if you gun to my head, I'd probably say Washington wins this game, but I just think because they're a better roster, and I lost all faith in Michael Penix. And now they're talking about letting what's his face? He may start if Michael Penix has another bad game.
Yeah.
What's his name? Oh my God, come on.
Not
Uh,
Darnold, the other one.
no, he was in Minnesota, and then he was with Washington actually too. He was drafted the
Yeah,
same as RG3. What's his name? Come on.
I can't think of his name.
Oh my God, come on. This is killing me. Uh, QB. It's not Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, yes. I don't
Killing
know.
me.
I think McLaurin is out for Washington too. So like I feel like it comes down to whichever team scores last. I mean, I still, like you said, gun to your head, I would probably take Washington still, but I don't. This is going to be a terrible game.
Right. Next, we have the Detroit Lions, which is even though T is out of the survivor pool, we'll let him back in just because he sucks and he loves the New England Patriots. That's your shot, T. That's your shot. Um, the Detroit Lions are at home for the Cleveland Browns, who got that big upset win over the Packers last week. 10-point favorite, 44 and a half is the line. I don't know how I feel about this one. I mean, I, can Cleveland's defense keep being the best defense in football? I mean,
No,
I don't think the Packers are very good. Like, I think they're a bit overrated right now, mostly because Jordan Love is. I don't consider
average.
Jordan Love a top 10 quarterback. I put him in the middle of the pack, and he's going to make mistakes. And I think that he's going to be the reason that they get held back because that roster in Green Bay is great. That defense is nasty.
Oh yeah,
They got a lot of good weapons. They don't really use the running back very well. What's his face? The guy that came over from the
the
Raiders.
Raiders.
But they don't. I don't know. I don't trust Jordan Love in the big moments. I don't think, and I think that's what's going to keep them down until either he steps up or or what. But I mean, I still think the Lions are the class of that division. And I could see this game kind of being like the Baltimore game where it's close for a little while and then the Lions, capitalize on a turnover or two and just it gets out of hand quickly. So,
That's I feel like that's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be slow to start, but then Joe Flacco just isn't consistent enough to keep that going all game. The Lions are going to pick him off. He's going to fumble. Something's going to happen, and they are going to just open up and go from there because we know what a douchebag their coach is with like going for it on fourth downs and keeping everybody in.
yeah,
I think the Lions win this game, and when we get to talking about who Green Bay is playing, I'll give you my thoughts on Jordan Love.
yeah. Next, we have the Panthers visiting the Patriots. The Patriots who they just couldn't get it together against the Steelers last week with 5 turnovers, and they still almost won. So I don't know if that says how bad Pittsburgh is or just how fortunate that the Patriots are that didn't get completely out of hand. But the Patriots are favored by 5.5 at home against the Panthers with a 43 for the line. I like the Patriots to get right here against a not good Carolina team. I'm still convinced Carolina is not good, and I just think Atlanta is worse.
Last week was just a fluke for Carolina. Bryce Young is not a good quarterback. I mean, one thing I'll say about this season, this early in the season, is that there is a pretty big rift between the teams that are good and the teams that are just average.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of teams this year that look to be just average.
Hmm.
There's only like maybe four teams I would say that are in that elite sphere. And like I said, it's a pretty big canyon between them. I think New England, like you said, gets right here. But New England's another one of those teams that's just average.
Next, we have an undefeated going up against a winless team, and I think this will be one of the teams that gets to 4-0 this week in the Los Angeles Chargers visiting the New York Giants. It is a West Coast team traveling east, and it is Jackson Dart time in New York, but I think the Chargers win pretty easily here. 6.5 points, 43 and a half. The Chargers got a great defense. Justin Herbert is playing he might be a dark horse MVP candidate this year. Playing very great. I see no reason why the Chargers don't get to 4-0 here.
I went out of my way to pick up the Chargers defense in our fantasy league
Mhm.
because they're going to eat Jackson Dart alive.
I think so too.
I think they win by probably double digits.
Yeah, I would agree. Next, honestly, I mean, I know we're going to watch the Bills game, but honestly, the best game of the 1 o'clock slate, 3-0 Eagles versus the 3-0 Bucks. That'll
The
be a
game's
real
gonna
good
be
one.
good.
Real good one. That's on Fox. Philly's favored by 3.5. Baker Mayfield is going to play. Godwin is back for the Bucks. I think the only one who's out is Mike Evans. Philly's favored by 3.5, and the line is 44. I think I still like the Eagles here. But I think it's going to be a great game. I think Baker's due for a letdown. Like three fourth quarter comebacks to win is going to catch up with that team eventually, and I think this is where it happens.
I think Tampa's going to win. I think last week Philly didn't deserve to win. Um, that center for the Rams is the single reason why the Rams didn't get out of the game. Not the center, the long snapper is the only reason they didn't break Philly's win streak. But I think Tampa wins, and I think they win by 3.
Interesting. Next we have the horrendous what is the AFC South battle for the bottom here. When the Tennessee Titans are visiting the Houston Texans, both teams are 0 and 3. Houston is favored by 7, and the line is 39 and a half. This game is going to be a real barn burner. I mean, Houston should win because if you go to 0 and 4, your season is over. Um, but take the under in this one, I guess. Neither one of these teams can score. And I,
Definitely.
I don't see this game to me feels like a 16-10 kind of game.
No, you're definitely right. I think the under. I'm shocked though with that Houston is favored by a touchdown. I mean, CJ Stroud has looked like a shell of the quarterback he was his rookie year.
Yeah.
And he just like you talk sophomore slump. It's like he failed his sophomore year again, and he's still a sophomore. Um, at least Tennessee can is in a rebuild, and they'll have time in this game to see how that rebuild is going. Um, and if they can just stay in it, keep the game close, I think Tennessee could pull out the win. Houston just hasn't looked good.
Yeah, would agree. Getting into the 4 o'clock slate, I think we're going to lose an undefeated team with this first one. Because I think the legend of Danny Dimes will probably end when the Colts visit the Rams. The Rams are favored by 3.5, and there's a huge line of 49 and a half, which
Huh.
I take the under there because the Rams have really good defense. And I think all the cupcakes that the Indianapolis Colts beat, being the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Raiders, is going to come down to earth a little bit here, I think. And they're playing a good team, and I think they're going to get exposed.
It's going to come down to mistakes. I mean, if the Rams continue to make mistakes like they did last week against Philly, they could cost themselves the game. I'm leaning towards the Rams winning, but you know my opinion on the comeback player of the year, and I'm going to be pulling for Indy, but I think I'm going to pick the under and the Rams.
Yeah. But next we have another game I'm not super interested in the Raiders and the Bears in Las Vegas. The Raiders are favored by 1.5, and the line is 48.
It's
I
mine
like that.
too.
I like that 48. The Bears score a lot, though. The Bears
Yeah,
have been scoring a lot, and the Raiders score a decent amount here. I think the over will probably hit in this one. And for me, this is a pick 'em. Either one of these teams could win. I give the edge to the Raiders just because they're home. But I mean, Chicago's defense is horrendous. And yeah, I could see this game easily having 55, 60 points scored in it.
If the Raiders can come out and figure out how to have their O line block for Ginty, they should just run wild over them. But you're right, this game is terrible. It could go either way.
Next, we have the Jaguars visiting the San Francisco 49ers and Mac Jones. This one's going to be another one that's going to be kind of a wolf game. San Francisco probably wins this one, 3.5 and 46.5. And I still don't think Jacksonville's very good. And it's another, East Coast team traveling all the way out west, right? Like, I don't know. I give the edge to San Francisco here. Probably a pick 'em, but again, gun to my head, 49ers probably win this just because they've got way more talent, even though they're injured all over the place.
No, you're right. Trevor Lawrence is going to be one of those quarterbacks who needs to go to a different team to find himself, kind of like what Mayfield did.
Mhm.
I don't think that anybody in Jacksonville knows what they're doing. They're too busy buying up sports entertainment and European football teams and instead of paying attention to the Jaguars. And I think even an injury riddled 49ers will be able to beat them.
And then the game of the week, the Baltimore Ravens visiting the Kansas City Chiefs. One of these teams is going to be 1-3 by the end of the day. And the Chiefs are favored by 2.5 at home, and the line is 48.5. I love the under here. I love the under here. I think Kansas City's got a great defense, and I think Kansas City's going to win. That actually almost might be my survivor pick too. I think uh, Patrick Mahomes is 5-1 against Lamar. I think Baltimore is in a free fall right now. Derrick Henry has fumbled in every single game,
And twice
and
cost them.
I think that back end of the Ravens defense is falling apart. And as much as I don't want to hear Nick Wright tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, I think is when he's on. I just think the Chiefs are the better team.
So I was listening to him the other day, Nick Wright, that is, and he made a good point here that if which team needs this more? And honestly, he said Baltimore because the Chiefs have already not looked good. And he said at this point, if they lose, they just start to work towards next year. Baltimore loses after losing the way that they have been. It proves them to be a fraud for everybody having talked them up, done everything that they've said going into the season about how Baltimore is, oh, this juggernaut, the team to beat. And they've already lost to Allen. They lost the last week off the fumble. Like, I think
Well,
Baltimore
I mean
needs
the the Lions that game wasn't as close as frankly it had any business being. The
no.
Lions beat their ass.
Yep. Um, I think, and I think as a Bills fan, I want Kansas City to win because I think that puts both of them 3 games back on us if Kansas City wins. I was reading some sort of stat.
Well, no, we want Kansas City. We want Baltimore to win technically because
Why?
we still have a 2 game on Baltimore and the head-to-head. Assuming we win today. If we win today, we have a 3 game on Baltimore because they're 2 games back and we have the head-to-head.
Okay.
If the Chiefs if Baltimore wins, then the Chiefs go to 1-3, and we have a 3 game on the Chiefs without the head to head. But we still play the Chiefs, obviously. So it's probably better for us if the Ravens win. But then again, it doesn't really matter. If the Ravens don't win, I mean, you could be looking at a playoff scenario where the Ravens maybe they don't even get in,
Yeah.
or they get in as a wild card. And you know how Lamar is on the road in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, like what if Lamar has to go to the Chargers? You know, which it seems very likely the Chargers are going to be, in the top 3, right?
Yeah.
So, I could absolutely like the Chargers and the Bills right now are the class of the AFC. I mean, whatever team comes out of the South, who cares? And right now it looks like the Steelers are going to be 3-1.
Oh,
So
all I know is I want both these teams to beat the dirt off each other. Like
Yeah.
we want them to be exhausted, beat up, and everything that we could possibly want. Have a bus crash into the tunnel, something crazy.
Yeah. And then your night game is the Green Bay Packers visiting the Dallas Cowboys. 6.5 for the Packers. 46.5 is the line. I like the over here a
I
lot.
like the over.
Green Bay is going to score a bunch because of what happened last week, and Dallas is missing everybody. So I think Green Bay is going to kill them.
I as much as I think Green Bay is a fraud, I do think that Dallas is just too decimated right now to keep up. I think I do like the over because they should just rack up points on them. But Jordan Love to me is the reason why the Packers are a fraud to me because I don't trust him to go in and not make huge mistakes when it really hurts the team. You know what I mean? The
Yeah, I agree.
guy, he almost reminds me of Josh Allen's younger years with the gunslinging,
Mhm.
um, and the way he's just always trying to do it himself and force it, and that's not a good look. And it's the reason why everybody laughed about Josh Allen potentially being an MVP at some point because he had so many mistakes. But once Jordan Love cleans that up, if he can, I think the Lions might have a tough time.
Yeah, but I don't think that's this year. It's,
No,
I think you're just putting a ton of talent around a quarterback who's not great and middle
he's
of the
average
road.
right now.
Like I don't think he's any better than Dak Prescott. And I put Dak Prescott probably around 12,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, he's
which
healthier than Prescott, so he's got that going for him.
I mean, like just looking around the league, right? Like, okay, what are the games that we've got going? Like, who's that? Where's everybody? Spencer Rattler, bottom, right? Josh Allen, one, two, or three in the league, depending on who you
Yeah,
talk to, right? Vikings are playing a backup, bottom. Aaron Rodgers, maybe around 20. Jaden Daniels, when he's healthy, top 10. Michael Penix, garbage. Joe Flacco, garbage. Jared Goff, Jared Goff is better than Jordan Love. Panthers, Bryce Young is garbage. Drake May, I would probably say that Jordan Love is better than Drake May. Justin Herbert is way better than him. Jackson Dart isn't. I think Baker and Jalen are better than him.
yeah,
I think he's probably better than CJ Stroud and the rookie in Tennessee. I don't think he's better than Matthew Stafford. He's probably better than Danny Dimes. Probably better than Trevor. Probably around the same as Brock Purdy.
yeah,
Not better than Lamar. Not better than Patrick. Probably better than Gino. Probably better than Caleb. Probably around the same as Dak. Probably around the same as Bo Nix. And whatever the Dolphins and Tua and whoever the Jets are going to trot out this week.
yeah.
Tomorrow night. So middle of the pack.
Yep, average.
So that is the slate for today, guys. Enjoy. We're gonna give you quick our picks and our way to go here. So I'm gonna just keep it simple this week. I'm gonna use my survivor pick on the Chargers. I just I haven't touched them yet, and I just want a nice, relaxing survivor pick this week because the last ones have not been great for me. And then my bet lock of the week, I think, is probably going to be the over in the Eagles and the Bucks game. And then my player prop will be James Cook to get into the end zone.
So I think Allen's going to have a passing and a rushing touchdown. I think the over in no, the under, sorry, in the Baltimore Kansas City game. And my survivor pick, if we go out and lose this week, we lose together because I'm picking the Chargers too.
Nice.
And who did T pick?
Detroit.
Okay.
Although he's on his second bullet.
Yes.
So that is your preview for the NFL Week 4. We'll have a recap for you guys tomorrow with Mr. Reese, and we're going to give him some more crap as we always do. So enjoy the games today, guys. We'll talk soon, and thank you guys so much as always for listening in. Hit that like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Have yourselves a fantastic day and take care.